Hey guys, you ever hear about Live for Love TV? I want you to like, share and subscribe. Check it out, it's a bomb.
Welcome back to Live for Love TV. Today's the 17th day of the 10th month of the 22nd year inside the 21st century. Hope everyone's doing well out there. I have to talk today with you about health, something that I always come back to again on this channel because as people like to say, health is wealth, and I'm one of those people who happen to believe it. If I'm a little bit stuffy today, it's because the AC was a bit too high last night, and I think I've picked up a little bit of a cold, as they say. But anyway, our health is really, really important to us. Now, we know at some point viruses are going to come around, other things are going to come around, and they're going to test our health, and they're going to, push us to the limit as they did last time. And they're going to continue to push us to the limit. This is just the way of nature. Diet is a big part of health. It's what you put into your system. But I want to make it clear right here and now that I'm not into the religious argument of diet. And what I mean by that is some people swear 100% that if you're not a vegetarian or vegan, you got a problem. And some people are into this carnivore now. Other people are into the Mediterranean diet. Other people are into all sorts of different diet formulations, eating patterns. But from my understanding and from my perspective, and this is my perspective, that we've been on this planet for maybe hundreds of thousands of years. Some people scripturally say, no, it's 6,000 years. Whatever it is, it's thousands of years. And if there was a single diet that fitted the human race, then you'd find it, and we'd have all be using it right now. It wouldn't have to be written down. It would just have proved itself. If you look in any community, anywhere throughout history to this day, they've had the same problems we have about what is the right diet, what they should be eating, more of this, less of that. And the reason for that, as far as I'm concerned, is because some people do better on a vegan diet. Some people do better on a vegetarian diet, pescatarian diet, carnivore diet, meat-only diet, fat diet, high-fat diet. People do better on different diets, and this should be respected by all of us. So I'm not here to tell you what I eat. I've taken years for me to come around with all of these, consciousnesses. Oh, I'm going to eat this, or I'm going to eat like that because other people have said and whatever. I've taken it and I've found out what works well for my body, and that's what I think is healthy. And I think that's what's going to be healthy for you, is when you start to listen to your body, not to me who tells you you should eat this, or somebody else that says eat that, or you should only eat that and never eat that. That person doesn't know you, and they certainly don't know your body. You're the one living inside your body. Your body will tell you, if you listen carefully enough and you don't rush around, trying to pick up too much money that you never have a time to listen to your own body on what your body needs. You'll know when you have stomach pains after eating something. You'll know when you feel energetic, or when you feel tired and lazy after eating. You'll know that some of these things are good and some things are not good. So try and listen to your body. Find a good diet, a good eating pattern for yourself, and then stick with it. Also, when it comes to weight, we're talking a lot about obesity nowadays, and about people being overweight and very ill, or sometimes people being severely underweight. Yeah, well, you may notice that my background has changed, and that's simply because the rain came down quick and fast and I had to move at lightning speed. But anyway, like I was saying, some of us are obese and overweight, and some of us are underweight, and some of us have all kind of weight issues. Now, what people must understand, that again, just like anything else, if you want to get a perfect diet, or you want to get a perfect weight for yourself, then understand that perfection is not a static state as it's described by people when they say, oh, when people say, oh, he's perfect, or he thinks he's perfect. If there is any such thing as perfect, it's a moving scale. Yeah, so your weight will be the same, and so will be your diet. What do I mean by that? I mean that at certain times of the year, your weight may be a little bit heavier. If that will be perfect for you. And other times of the year, you'll be a little bit lighter. That's perfect for you. When you go to bed, you'll notice if you take a weight before you go to bed, and you take your weight when you wake up in the morning, it's going to be different. It's going to be sometimes 2 pounds difference. Some people go right down to 6 or 7, depending on their energetic level, 7 to 8 pounds difference overnight. Which one is the perfect weight? Well, I'm saying both of them are. If you've got yourself together and you understand that you've got your system moving well, both of them will be the perfect weight for you because it's a moving scale. The same goes for food. You may eat more of something at one point, maybe more carbohydrates at some times, maybe at other times more protein, maybe at other times of the year or at other times of the day, you may eat a lot more high fat. Again, if you've got yourself together and you understand what you're doing, that's a perfect scale food weight for yourself. So that's what you must always go by. Don't try and be too rigid with yourself and say, oh, I ate too many carbs yesterday, or therefore I've fallen off and I'm not doing the right thing. It doesn't work like that. There's no actual static state. Just like people will say, oh, yesterday was the perfect day, the weather was perfect. What do they mean by that? Often they'll refer to how, the sun was out all day and it was a beautiful day and there's a little bit of a breeze and everything. That may be a perfect day inside, but it can't be perfect if it's static. Because just think about it, if the weather stayed like that, it wouldn't be long before everything else started to die off. We need clouds, and with clouds comes rain, and with rain comes growth in vegetation, and then we go back to the sun again. So this perfection is really a moving scale. So you can be perfect. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't be perfect, you don't eat perfect, or you're not a perfect weight, or you're not even a perfect person. But don't let them say because you did something yesterday and it's different from what you did today that you've lost your perfection. Just laugh them off because they don't understand perfection has to be a moving scale. That's the only way it can work. It's like everything. Everything has a balance. Everything moves up and down, goes to and fro. It doesn't stay, nothing stays in a static state. And that's why I'm talking about health. As you increase and get to know your body more and get to understand your health more, no one can tell you how much of what to eat and how little of what to eat at any given time. You'll know, your body will know. Your body has its own intelligence. It knows so many things that me and you intellectually just don't know. Yeah, and we can't be sitting down with somebody who next to you and be intellectualizing about the perfect diet, and then the two of you thinking you're both going to eat the same thing and get the same results. That in itself is folly. It won't work. So you need to get your health, an understanding of your health via your body personally, and that's what you'll get. And when you get that, everything works better. Now, for those of you who say, well, it doesn't matter if you're healthy or not, you're not going to live any longer. That may be actually true. I'm not going to argue and say, well, just because you're healthy, you're going to live to 100. I'm not going to make any such silly statement. Because I don't agree with it either. But I will say that if you are healthier, you will have a better quality of day. That I will say, and that I have experienced. So that's what you're going for, the better quality of day. The length of service or the length of time you spend on this planet is there's so many different factors that factor into it. And health may be one of them, but it's not necessarily the major one. You'll see people smoking and they're 99, and people who have never, put a cigarette to their mouth and eat perfectly, and they're dead at half that age. So it's not, again, you can't directly use health to say that's how long you're going to live. But I would say that your day will be better, your breathing will be better, your general sleep will be better. And sleep is a massive part of your health. Now, this is disrespected by lots of people, especially young people who believe they're going to live forever. And as I was young myself, so I know what we're talking about. Remember, when we go to clubs and we play out, when we, with their music, our parties and clubs never started till 10 p.m. And, right through to 7, 8, 9, whatever, broad daylight the next day. And we did this in our teens, going on for decade after decade. Many of us, not all of us, but many of us did that decade after decade. And I believe, personally, that I'm still paying a price for that living that I used to do. And people can have their own view. I know some of you are still doing it. I'm not having a go at you. But for me personally, I still pay a price for that living because I know that wasn't correct. My body's telling me it wasn't correct. And I need sleep. And I need sleep at a certain time. I'm not talking about the hour nap you may get in the afternoon, some of you. I'm talking about I need sleep. I need 8, 9 hours sleep for me to function the way I need to function. That's me. And many of you are going to need similar amounts of sleep. Some of you will have 4 or 5 hours and say you work perfectly on that. Well, time will tell. But as far as I'm concerned, sleep is an important part of health. It's as important, in fact, I'd say it rates higher than exercise, because you don't have to do any exercise. You can just walk around, pick up things, do your gardening, whatsoever, and don't have to do any specific exercise. to be healthy. But you must get good sleep, good quality sleep between certain hours, the hours that we were supposed to sleep. We are not nocturnal animals that spend all night up. So for those of you who are doing shift work, do what you have to do, but try, if you possibly can, as you start to get older, try to get out of it. Try to find something else you can do that will give you sleep at those times. I did shift work, how old was I? From about 17 to 25. Big problem for me. My whole digestive system changed. My digestive system gave me problem for years and years afterwards, because I was eating 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was sleeping in the afternoon when my body should have been getting food, and I know that I paid a price for that also. But again, when you're young, you just don't know these things, and if there's no one to tell you, you just follow the crowd, and you do whatever people tell you is correct, and you say, yeah, okay, I'm making the money and I'm okay. But no, I wasn't okay, and I found out, and I listen to my body now, so I don't have that issue anymore where people can't tell me what's good for me. I know what's good for me. No, not even a doctor. I don't care what he's qualified in can tell me what's good for me. There's absolutely no way I will accept that from any doctor. I don't care who he is. I don't care how many subjects, PhDs and masters he's got. We saw in the last 2 or 3 years all these doctors telling us what we should have done and what we should take, and now 90% of them are backtracking from that thing and saying, oh well, they were only following orders. You can't listen to other people when it comes to your body. If your body is telling you no, don't let me or anybody else tell you yes. Even if you feel for some reason you don't need sleep, then just you do what you have to do. But as far as I'm concerned, sleep is a massive part of your health, and exercise, obviously. I would say exercise is also a big part. But you can get exercise in so many ways. Even if you've got an active job, it really pushes you to the limit. You don't need to go to any gym. You don't need to go running. You don't need to be doing, squat thrusts and, jump squats and all that. You don't have to be doing all that. Your lifestyle itself may be just enough of what your body needs. But if you're like most of us who are living in this modern world and always in cars, always on buses and trains, or in offices sitting down, at our friends and family houses sitting down, then you're gonna have to go a little bit harder, definitely at certain times. It's the only way it's gonna work, because we're not living the way our bodies were designed to live. So exercise then becomes a major thing in our lives. I'm bringing up these things because I used to talk about health a little bit more on Live for Love TV, but other things have come in the way and I haven't address the subject as much as I should. But I'll be honest with you, it is the number one thing, because if you make bundles of money, and I've seen people make lots of money around me, and all of a sudden they're now interested in their health. They're going to the health club more. They're now looking at what they should be eating from what they weren't before, and that usually the reason for that is they now want to be able to live to spend that money. That's why a lot of poor people's health is very, very bad, because a lot of us who don't have enough money, we're struggling to make ends meet, we just don't have time for our health, and sometimes we're even not thinking correctly. That's part of not being healthy, and mind's not working properly, and you start thinking, oh, I've got to get this money. Money's what's going to keep me alive. It needs to change. You need to have the health as the most important thing in your life, the first thing, because this is the bodies that we live in, and these bodies work on this earth in a certain way. And if we can get that right, then everything else, I think, will eventually start to fall into place. So I hope that helped you today. I hope I haven't gone around too much on myself on this particular video, because I didn't, as usual, I don't rehearse anything. I just speak from the heart and let it flow. So Live for Love TV is here with you. Hope everyone's doing well out there, and take care. See you soon.
People, one step more. One step more, one step more, one step more, until you reach your goals. One step more. This is Live for Love.